Aho to ye travellers, cometh young, cometh old. 'Tis adventure we seek for the meek and the bold. A knight and a wizard who drink smashes sour have a magic crusade for you this questing hour.
Do you even remember how to do this?
I know, it's been too long. Okay. Welcome back, travelers. Welcome back. We are live. We made it out through our podcast, Dark Night of the Soul, and we're back with the Questing Hour podcast.
Yes, we are live and back in action.
Yeah, it's been way too long. I can't believe it.
Yeah, I definitely relied on these weekly meetings with Maggie, and me and Maggie have just been corresponding through text, and I'm like, I miss
devastating.
you.
Yeah, it hurts. It hurts so bad. But we're back, better than ever, kind of. My headphones broke as well. It's my computer, so I'm on my my AirPods, except I can only use one because of my new piercing.
Maggie. Maggie's struggling out here.
Yeah, it is so bad for me right now, but we're getting through it. We're getting through it. So, in case you didn't see on our social medias, I opened my computer to edit our video one day, and the battery was like 1%. So I was like, okay, let me charge it. Plugged it in, didn't charge. I was like, oh.
Hello?
So I was literally speed running editing, like, I gotta finish it on this 1%, I gotta finish it, and then it died on me, and then it wouldn't turn back on for a long time.
Horrible.
Yeah, so I was like, Ari, something happened to my computer. We can't record or post.
Yeah, Maggie texted me and was like, I can't record, I can't edit, I can't post. I was like, oh god.
Yeah, the entire podcast lives on my crappy HP Pavilion. And the second something happens to it, like,
it's really putting in that work.
It is, and it's like screaming at me already. Like the fan is going full blast. You know how it is.
Oh god.
Yeah. But I just had to get a new charger. Yeah.
Hey, and that's a good thing. At least you didn't have to buy a brand new computer.
I had to go to somebody to try to fix it because that's always so expensive. But yeah.
Yeah. The good thing is that we're back.
Yeah.
It definitely was a little bit of a scare because Maggie and I live so far away, so it's not even like we could even correspond with each other to record anything, even if we wanted to. And because we only record like pretty much a week in advance, we only had enough for like a week in advance.
Yeah. So we didn't have like stockpiles of episodes. Yeah.
We'll have to record like some secret episodes that only come to light if we ever
like emergency episodes. Yeah. That's actually a good idea. Just in case a little bonus content. Yeah, that's good.
Here's a bonus content for the week to keep you guys on your toes.
Our Google Drive, so even if something happens to the computer, yeah, that's very smart. We will do that. That's good.
Yes, that is what we should do. But yeah, we posted that on our social medias. I made a little TikTok about it. Because not only is friendship hard long distance, but like when you're trying to do something creative and business savvy like this, it's very much a lot harder to do.
It is.
Without the resources, especially.
Yep. And one little thing can go wrong, and then you have to reconfigure how you do everything. But
so
we're figuring it out.
Yeah, guys.
And we're back.
Taking it day by day, but we're back. That's all that matters.
Yeah. Well, in the meantime, Ari, what have you been up to?
I have been job searching so hard. I swear, I feel like I know so many people right now that are looking for jobs, and it's the same thing that I'm going through where it's like, no matter how much I apply for them, no one is hiring me.
Exactly.
Like, I'm getting rejected by everybody, and I just don't understand what's happening.
Yeah.
I should not be applying to like 100 jobs and getting not a single job, but like interview.
Yeah, offer, not even an interview.
Not anything. Yeah. Just instant rejection. And I'm like, how are all of these people hiring, but nobody is hiring? I don't understand. And I'm not the only one that has been pointing this out to me. So it's been quite interesting. Yeah. So yeah. How are you, Maggie, besides all your stuff you got going on there.
Well, I'm like sick again. I think in the other episode that we recorded that didn't get posted, I was also sick, and that was like 3 weeks ago.
Yes.
And I'm still sick with a different sickness, but kind of the same. It's all in this. It's always my throat that messes up, which is a bummer.
Sickness persists.
Yeah, it's so awful. It's so bad. So I have another cough again, going through bottle after bottle of Mucinex and Tylenol and ibuprofen, and literally, and like NyQuil, literally anything I can take to give me some relief, and it is not working.
Maggie's
Great.
buddy is screaming.
Shutting down on me. It's like, you have to stop being alive.
Whenever me and don't do this, we don't condone this. But whenever me and Maggie were sick in our dorm room at the same time, we'd meet each other in the lobby of the dorm to cross our arms and take shots of NyQuil.
It was so sweet. One of my fondest memories of college.
Seriously. Whenever we were sick, we weren't just taking shots of NyQuil, you guys.
Yeah, when you're sick and you need NyQuil. Yes. Or Dayquil. I love a Dayquil as well.
Then you can make it fun because I hate medicine.
Yeah. It's not great to take.
It makes me gag. I die.
Yeah, it's awful. It's so bad. But I'd rather take an entire bottle of Mucinex than feel the way I'm feeling.
True. Good point.
And like I can't laugh because then it like I start wheezing and I sound like an old dying person. It's so bad. And I can't sing, and karaoke is tomorrow, and I'm like, I don't know what I'm gonna do. Maybe this is my punishment for doing too much karaoke.
That is your punishment.
But we're getting through it. In the meantime, I love that it's fall. It's like
I know the weather is finally
right
cooling down.
It's so nice.
I think so. Our days are still kind of warm, but our nights have been cooling down to like 60 degrees.
I love it.
And I'm like, yes.
Yeah.
Thank God.
Yesterday there was a market downtown, and I wore like a sweater vest and shorts. And
oh my gosh!
Got, like a pumpkin spice from the coffee shop downtown, and I was like, I feel so fall. And it was like 75, 80, but it still felt kind of. It's still like a little bit of briskness when there's fall on the air. You can feel it coming. I'm like, yeah, that's when you know it's good.
Yep. I've already started rewatching Gilmore Girls.
Yes, I love it.
Planning my October movie lineup.
Oh my gosh, yeah, of course. You simply have to. I've been thinking about Halloween costumes so
Me
much.
Too.
Yeah, I keep having ideas. Well, I straightened my hair, and I was like, I think I should go as Gwen Stacy.
Yes.
I might do that.
Oh my God. Wait, that would be so perfect with your hair.
Right? Yeah, and I feel like the little headband, and just get a little purple skirt and a little turtleneck. Be Gwen Stacy from the comics, and then I can just like go around like dying on people for photo ops. Yeah.
I love it. That is such a good idea.
Yeah.
Well, this week is gonna be a very easy week, y'all.
Yeah.
This Monday's episode is gonna be, just a little chit chat, recapping you on things, talking a bit about stuff we've been doing and stuff we're going to be doing. And we'll have a guest on Thursday still. Back to your usual content. But next Monday we will briefly do a short rundown of our next upcoming history topic, which is Dante.
I'm so excited for that. It's gonna be fun to dig through it.
I can't wait.
Yeah. It's gonna be really
I am so excited to look even more deeply into the literature itself. So next week's episode talks more about Dante as a writer and the history, a bit about that. But we're gonna have a second episode for Dante talking all about his most famous work.
Yeah, like really digging into it and getting in it.
Exactly.
That's gonna be so fun. I gotta read some more of it. Yeah.
I can't wait.
Yeah, it's gonna be great.
But yeah, we've just been, trying to get through life basically, and sometimes that happens.
Yeah. Sometimes it sucks.
Sometimes it's a curveball after a curveball, and you really can't swing the bat anywhere,
You can't swing the bat anywhere, and you really hit rock bottom, and you're at that dark night of the soul. But as we all know, you come back.
Yeah, you come back from it.
Yeah.
And I think that, to preface, it's also important to remember that, Maggie and I are just people who live two very different lives. And so as much as we are very committed to the podcast, sometimes like shit happens and we got to do what we got to do. And if that means we have to wait for a new charger or even a new computer, knock on wood, I don't want to jinx it. But like, you know, if things like that have to happen, then that's what has to happen for us to continue doing this work. However long our sabbatical, our little break is, our hiatus.
Right.
But yeah, we started off this season, if you will. I like to think of our seasons as the 4 seasons, like the weather. You guys think about it that way, and it's a lot less confusing.
Right.
But we started off talking about Beowulf, which was really interesting because I've heard of Beowulf, but I never actually read the literature.
No, it was so much fun. I love Beowulf. And
then we had our first guest, which was Ori.
My queen. I love her.
Oh, and then we talked about Lancelot. I forgot all about
Lancelot. I forgot about Lancelot,
Oh my gosh, a lover and a fighter. How could I
forget? Oh, sweet Lancelot. He was so good. Wow. We need to dig more into the Knights of the Round Table. Because we've only done a couple.
And we could talk about their dynamics with each other. And I feel like a lot of their stories don't seem to intertwine, but you know that they're all parts of the Round Table.
Like they have their own little things that they go on. And then every once in a while they'll interact, like on the quest for the Holy Grail.
That's what we gotta do.
We gotta do the Holy Grail eventually.
We'll get there. But of course
we must find the Holy Grail.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I totally forgot about Lancelot.
Yeah, so we did Lancelot. We had Ori as our first guest, who was also a fellow podcaster. And then we talked about Beowulf, and we had our second guest, Noli, who is living it up in Vegas. Free spirit.
Vegas.
Viva! And then we talked about Joan of Arc, who is one of the most well-known prominent female knights probably ever, and one of the only ones that we know about as far as I know.
Right. She's so cool. I can't think
of another single female.
She's a martyr. No, I literally can't think of another one. I know a bunch of female pirates, but not any female knights.
Even when I looked it up, it was like in a list of all the knights, she was the only woman there. I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah. But like, go her.
And then we had a streamer and entrepreneur Mad Curious on with us to talk about business and really just grabbing the opportunities that come to you.
Gamifying your life. That was one of our like most inspiring things I've heard in a while. She was so
seriously
cool. She was so cool.
She was telling me, I know she'd mentioned it briefly on the podcast, and I remember her talking about it in her stream, but she was saying how when she went through that storage unit, and she just like went on a whim, like did some research, bought it, and was like, let me see if I can find some good things in here. Apparently she did a haul on her stream, and she had some really cool stuff in there.
Oh, that's cool.
I was like, that is so fun.
Awesome.
Like, who hasn't wanted to be on like Storage Wars? Where
and just like dig through stuff. You
just dig through the old stuff. You find some keepers. You find some things to sell. Like, oh my gosh.
So cool.
I remember watching that as like when I was younger and being like, wow, these guys got to be so rich, like making so much money and finding such cool stuff. But yeah, that was our conversation with Matt Curious.
Yeah, I love her.
Oh my gosh. And then we talked about Robin Hood, all variations.
Yeah.
And then last but not least, we had our Mordred apologist, Emma.
Archaeologist and Mordred intellectual, my sister Emma. And she was the last one before my computer died.
Yeah, she was the last one. We were literally set to, we already recorded our Dante preview episode. It was supposed to come out while we were planning on our next interview. And that's when Maggie's computer stopped working right before we were supposed to post on that Monday, the Dante preview. So we already have the Dante preview for you guys, which is why it's coming out next week.
Yeah.
But we wanted to do definitely like a quick little catch up with you guys because it's been a hot minute, and I think it's important that you guys know we're still here.
We're still here. We're still
committed.
Here. Yes. We're still going on quests. We're still on our hero's journey, and you're still coming with us, whether you like it or not.
Yeah, what so she said.
Yeah.
I did want to look at, since we're recapping a little bit about adventure, I found this little article that talks about the 5 elements of adventure.
Oh, I love this. Sure.
Okay, so I'm not going to read the whole article. I found it on Psychology Today. Nice. If you guys want to try to look it up. But I was like, what are the different parts that make up an adventure? Because we have been asking all of our guests what adventure means to them. And I feel like it's so strange, like in a nice way, hearing all of their answers, because I feel like they're all the same, but completely different at the same time. Right. Like they're the same for different reasons. And it's interesting seeing like all the variations still kind of like make up what adventure actually is. Because I would agree with every single one of everyone's answers so far.
Oh, I love it.
And so today we'll briefly talk about the 5 elements. So we got, this is what the article says. So I'm going to kind of read it word for word.
Yeah.
It says, at its core, adventure is the willingness to commit to an uncertain outcome with an open heart and a willingness to learn and engage. It is the ability to take a leap into the unknown with mindfulness and grace. Framed this way, opportunity for adventure presents itself to us every day. Isn't that perfect?
That's what we do.
That's us. We are adventure.
We are adventure, and so are you.
So for our first element of adventure, we have high endeavor. It is the ability to think big and think bigger about who you are, how you live, and what you can do in the world.
Ooh, I like that. Kind of like, changing your mindset instead of just, this is what life is. Think about what life could be.
Exactly. And I think it's also important to remember that, like, you're not the only one living on the adventure. Like, we're all part of, like, a collective. You know, we're all on this same earth living our own adventures. But, what is it you can do for the world? Not only what can the world do for you, but what can you do for the world as well? Put out as much as you take in, type of deal. And then our next element is total commitment.
Yes.
It is the spirit of willingness to embrace the challenge and to move towards success. It is the acknowledgement that total commitment does not mean blind faith or brazen disregard, but it is the confidence and belief in the face of a challenge.
Oh man, I love that. I feel like that's the one that I'm always like hesitant about. Like jumping in with both feet. I like to test the waters first, see, do it like once a week or something.
Oh, for sure.
Instead of just immediately changing.
Yeah, I think it's tough too, because like some things that you would consider like a nice opportunity or like for adventure or any experience in your life could also be like a serious, like risky move, right?
Yeah.
Like, you really have to have like some sort of confidence that whatever this opportunity is, that it's going to have a better outcome than where you're at right now. Like if you just got rewarded like $10,000 and you're like, oh, I want to go travel the world. Yeah. Like, okay, is spending all that money to travel the world going to be worth it after you come back from traveling the world?
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it's a matter of making sure you educate yourself on whatever it is you want to do, but use that education to confidently take your stance in whatever the adventure is. And it's not making like stupid, risky decisions or hazardous decisions.
Yeah.
Like adventure is not getting completely shit-faced drunk and recklessly endangering yourself and others. Like that is not adventure.
No, that's crazy.
Like,
that's crazy is what that is.
Not,
yeah.
And that's I think what kind of this is. It's like it's not half assing your idea of adventure. It's full on committing to the idea of what adventure is. You know?
Yeah, I think that's kind of what separates adventure from just like spontaneity. Is like adventure has to have like a path and a passion.
Like a purpose. Yeah.
Like if you're just, oh, let me just wander into the woods and be a hooligan and have no real reason or desire to do that in the first place, then it's not an adventure. You have to have like a purpose and a path and something leading you and a desire to go on that adventure.
Exactly. I totally agree.
Yeah.
And I think like the same way that, spontaneity and adventure are different. This is another perfect example. The next element is uncertain outcome. Both have uncertain outcomes, but it's all these other elements that make the adventure. Like all of these are a part of adventure. It's not one or the other. It's all of them.
Yeah.
So
It's
for
all
uncertain
of them.
outcome, we have a predetermined outcome is not an adventure, but a packaged experience or amusement ride. Life is uncertain. Get comfortable with it. It is the acknowledgement that there will be adversity and unease, but an uncertain outcome is a gift of possibility.
I love that. Yeah.
Sounded like a robot. Beep, beep, beep. I was gonna say that I like that because that almost gives this idea of adventure that like it says like obviously there's going to be adversity and unease, but even the outcome could also be like not a positive. It could be a bad outcome.
Yeah.
But that's still the gift of, the possibility of whatever your outcome is. You're even the things you fail or have negative outcomes from, those are lessons. Those are things that build up who you are and how you continue to grow as a person.
Yeah. I like what it said about like if it has a predetermined outcome, it's not an adventure, it's an amusement park ride. Because like, even if you don't like the amusement park ride, you know how it's going to end and you're just going to get off about your day. But an adventure, like it could be good, it could be bad, and it could still have a good or bad outcome, and you don't really know. You just have to keep going on the adventure.
Exactly. Exactly. Like when you're going on the Tower of Terror, you're going for that drop.
Yeah.
And then after the drop, that's it.
And you get off the ride. Yeah.
Off the ride. But deciding in 10 minutes to go to Disneyland, Disney World, that's an adventure.
Yeah, because you don't know if you're going to have any money by the time you get there.
I would say that might be a little bit more spontaneity because we know the outcome.
Right, yeah.
We're like, are we going to get a hotel or are we going to sleep in the car?
Yeah. Either one is worth it, honestly, though.
But I think, like, for example, like, some people take a road trip and it's like, you have a point A to point B type of road trip destination, but you're willing to make the stops along the way to find like hidden secrets along the road. Like that. That's an adventure. Right. Like, when people say like it's all about the journey, not the destination.
Yeah.
Adventure is the journey.
Adventure. Yeah. Because if you're just focused on going from point A to point B, that's just a task. Like, that's just going to the grocery store and back.
You're just checking off your to-do list.
Right? Yeah. It's not an adventure.
Boo, boring. But we can make it an adventure.
That's what we're here for.
The next element is a tolerance for adversity. Ooh. It is our ability to be resilient in the face of challenge. Our willingness to laugh, use humor, and grace during difficult situations. The opportunities we each face to take a step back and acknowledge that sometimes absurd aspects of humans being human. Take a step back and acknowledge the sometimes absurd aspects of being human. Embrace it and continue on.
Nice. I like that.
There we go.
Because there's always going to be adversities. As we have learned from the hero's journey, like, there's going to be bad points and good points. And you have to learn how to face them. Whether you have a good time or a bad time.
Yep, your trials and your enemies.
Yeah.
But those things are what lead you to the boss fight and the reward.
Yeah. And at the end of the day, if you never face anything bad and you never learn anything, what was the point of the adventure in the first place?
Exactly.
I, for one, would be pissed if I went through a really sick adventure and came out the same person on the other side. Like, oh, that's it?
Seriously.
I didn't learn anything?
Like,
I'm the same person? Yeah. Okay.
Wasting my time.
Yeah, wasted my time.
And I like this one because this is not one I feel like a lot of people take into consideration with adventure. But the final element that is listed here is companionship.
Oh.
While our lives can sometimes feel solitary, we can't do it alone. It takes a team to support living in commitment, joy, generosity, and gratitude.
Oh, that's so sweet. And also, like, that's our whole thing too. Like, we're going on the adventures together. Me and you are on this adventure. We invite everyone else. All you guys listening to go on our adventures with us. That's so sweet.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We are the companionship to your adventure.
Yeah. And there's no adventures that are just one guy.
Truly. I mean, there always has to be some sort of a mentor or magical guide that, you know, presents you the opportunity for adventure in the first place.
Yeah. Even like Alice in Wonderland, she's going through Wonderland by herself, but she couldn't have done it without all the people that she runs into along the way to lead her either further in or further out.
That guy that you asked for directions for?
Yeah.
He's a part of your companionship.
He's a part of your adventure, yeah. I love that. Like, the person that recommends a restaurant for you, they're a part of your adventure.
The waitress that took your coffee order and gave you the fuel for your adventure, she's part of it. Yeah. Oh, this is so sweet.
Oh, I'm getting emotional. I love humanity.
I think it's really important to recognize that, like, even if, like, you know, no matter how alone we feel, we actually aren't really ever alone.
Yeah, there's always people that we are constantly needing to interact with.
Yeah, our lives are all intertwining in some way, shape, or form. Like, you ordered a package from Amazon. Oh, you had a delivery guy outside your door today. Yeah. You know,
that man was the catalyst for whatever adventure is inside that package.
Well, yeah, exactly. Yeah. And we all love a good package.
I love a package.
It's like a little surprise.
A little surprise. What's inside? Oh, it's the thing that I ordered.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, what did I order for myself? Yeah, I love that was included. But I think it says it takes like a team to support the parts of adventure. But I think it's also important to hold each other accountable for not only like the commitment to adventure, but also like the joys of like spreading joy, but also remembering to be grateful for everything that comes along with whatever your adventure is, you know?
Yeah, I love that. Like what like we said, whether it's good or bad, like it's all part of growing as a person and changing and having a human experience, which in my opinion is always beautiful, even if it's good or bad. So just
I mean, as cheesy as it is,
yeah,
the human life is one big adventure. We don't know the outcome. I mean, the only thing we know is the inevitability of dying eventually. But like besides that, we don't know anything that's going to happen from now onward. It's just kind of what we try to make of it, you know?
Right. And even then we don't even know when the end is going to come. So
exactly.
We got to start adventuring now.
This also says, I'm going to read the last little bit of, it's just like a couple little paragraphs, but I think they're pretty interesting. It says, we can live in a state of adventure every day in every aspect of our lives. Living in adventure brings a sense of vitality, intensity, and energy into all of our relationships and endeavors. Adventure is not reserved for the extreme athlete or the daredevil. It is an attitude and a lifestyle choice. It is an expression of your heart's intention and passion for life. Like any practice, yoga, meditation, soccer, you name it, adventure is a practice too. I have found the greatest success and the most meaning in my life by surrounding myself with family, friends, and colleagues that support adventure. Adventure is work, but the payoff is well worth the commitment. Your summit awaits.
Incredible. Incredible.
I got
Yes.
chills.
No, literally. Adventure is not reserved for anybody. Like, that is so powerful when they said that.
Mm-hmm.
'Cause you think of adventure and you think about, climbing Mount Everest or, fighting a dragon or something.
Mm-hmm.
But that's not the only kind of adventure you can have. And we say that literally every day. I mean, you could go to the grocery store and meet somebody new and meet a best friend, and that's an adventure. You can,
Exactly.
yeah, you can, paint a wall in your house, and that's an adventure.
I think it's important to recognize too when it said that like it is a way of life. Like it's a way of life. It is work. Like you have to put yourself through the adventure in order to get there. I feel like a lot of people are like waiting for the next big thing to happen to them, and that might not always come if you're just not
Yeah.
putting in the work for it to come.
Exactly.
Like I think it's important to just remember that like adventure, like Maggie said and like the article said, like it's literally for anybody. It is a lifestyle choice. If you're not open to opportunities and things like that, and your mindset is not in a space where you are safe to adventure, essentially, like adventure is not going to come to you. The excitement, the joy, the gratitude of adventuring is not going to come to you if you are not open to receiving it and doing the work of the adventure itself.
I mean, think about all the literature and the historical figures that we've talked about. All of them are different. Some of them don't have anything in common, but the one thing that they have in common is that they accepted the call to adventure. And that's all it takes to be an adventurer, is to just say yes to the adventure. And,
Exactly.
Bam. Same thing is like if you want to be a writer or an artist, you just have to, write or make art. There's no requirements for starting it. You just have to start it.
Yeah, absolutely. But if you want to make money off the art, the work of the adventure of being a best-selling artist is putting your art out there. You have to make these connections and do the work and everything else like that. I mean, we have perfect examples in our history that we already talked about.
Yeah.
Beowulf, he was like, oh, someone's fighting across the ocean. Let me take a boat and I'll do the work for you guys. I'm on my way. I mean, even Joan of Arc, she went to the prince and begged because she believed in herself so hard. And she fought in the battlefield. Like she put in the work for her adventure. I mean, who knew the outcome of that battle, whether it was win or lose? I mean, she knew, but everyone else did.
Yeah. Imagine if Joan of Arc was like,
an adventure.
Yeah. Imagine if Joan of Arc was like, oh, I'm having all these visions from God telling me to go fight, but I'm kind of scared to go fight. What if it doesn't work out for me? I think I'm going to stay home. And then what would happen?
They would have lost.
They would have lost, and Joan of Arc would have never gone down in history as one of the best knights ever. And she would have never been a saint.
She probably would have been lost to history. We wouldn't even know her name.
She would never have been a role model for, powerful women in history that came after her. Powerful women today that look up to her. Just because she was like, I feel the call to adventure, but I think I'm not going to do it.
Yeah.
I'm tired today.
I'm actually tired.
I'm feeling a little lazy. Maybe tomorrow.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I think ultimately the payoff to adventure is worth the work that it takes to go on said adventure. And it's like, okay, what I was gonna say, going back to spontaneity, it's like adventure is spontaneity, but not all spontaneity is adventure.
Yeah. Because there has to be that certain amount of,
Because there's uncertainty in adventure, and so like I feel like that's what kind of, you don't really know what's happening when you're being spontaneous. You're just jumping into it, right?
Yeah.
You're blindly jumping in. But with spontaneity, I feel like it's very short-lived. It's very, it's done and over with. You kind of know what's going to be happening. But yeah, so those are the 5 elements that I found for adventure that include, authenticity and purpose and inspiration.
Yeah, I love that. Thanks for sharing that. It was so good.
Of course. I'm so glad I found it. I'm sure there's like a lot more that people could point out and find for like meanings of adventure, but like we've already kind of
Yeah.
discussed throughout the podcast, is that everyone kind of has their own definition and idea of adventure.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, that was
Great stuff.
I know, right? I loved looking at that and like picking it apart.
Mm-hmm.
So, anything else, Maggie?
Well, there's one thing left that we have to do.
Oh no, what could it be?
It's your very first side quest in a very long time. We've been gone for so long, but we're back with another side quest.
Yes.
If anything, the computer was like a side quest of its own.
That is.
Yeah.
You
But
had
it's
to
like one of
figure
those
out the
unscapable
issue.
side quests.
Like,
Yeah. Like you have to
the
do this
ones that
before you go
like
back to the
forward
main
the
quest.
plot along, yeah.
Yeah, so you like can't progress the story until you complete the side quest. You're like, I don't want to do it. But I had to do
Exactly.
it. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yep.
So I restarted watching Gilmore Girls. I have a little side quest that goes along with this.
Ooh,
But one of my favorite things about Gilmore Girls is like the idea of living in such a small town that like I feel like some people would shy away from this because they're probably a bit more private people. Don't get me wrong, I love my privacy, but I also love the idea of being a part of like a community where like everyone knows each other. Everyone's willing. The way that these people in the community like help everybody else and like care for them like
so
they're their own flesh and blood
is
one of my favorite things to see in the show because it's exhibited throughout the entire show.
Right.
And I love it. But I think this is a very common practice in religion as well, is to like know thy neighbor. And you know, my grandparents, I went to church with them one time and they handed out these like little squares. My nana keeps it on her fridge. She's so cute. They handed out these little like square papers and it was like a little house in the middle and then it had squares all around the house and it was like, all of these squares represent your neighbors. Do you know any of them? Can you name any of these neighbors?
Yeah.
And so every time my nana, like when she didn't know her neighbors, because now she knows them all.
Yeah.
But when she didn't know them, she would like go over their house, have dinner, and like write their name on the little square.
Oh, that's so cute.
And she might still have it on her fridge. I don't know, but I remember her showing it to me, and I thought that was the coolest thing. But you know, bringing it back to Gilmore Girls and that, my side quest is for you to make friends with one of your neighbors, obviously safely.
Yeah.
But, you know, have a little housewarming party. Be like, you know what? I'm feeling a little lonely. Let me meet my neighbors. Let's have a little, you know, game night. Something like that.
That's so good.
Bring in that community of adventure. Because you never
that's
know what kind of friend you're going to make.
Right. And it's nice to have someone like in your direct community that you can go to.
Exactly. In case
like,
of an emergency or something.
Yeah, if you have an emergency, you're like, oh, I can go to my neighbor, Stu, or whatever. And
exactly.
I know that he'll help me out. Yeah.
Yeah, Stu's got the goods.
You know Stu's got the goods. That's a really good side quest. I love that.
Yeah.
I like it. Okay. Well, there's your side quest, gang. And we'll be back on Thursday with a super special guest.
A very special guest.
Yeah.
And it'll be my birthday.
And it'll be Ari's birthday! Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh! That's crazy.
Hence the decorations for those on Spotify. I have a balloon that says "Let's Party" and a balloon tablecloth behind me like a backdrop.
Incredible! Incredible! I love it.
It is my quarter life crisis birthday.
Incredible! Oh my gosh! Does that mean that your frontal lobe is fully developed now? Whoa! How does it feel?
I am full-grown adult.
Yes! Oh my gosh! That's so exciting.
But yeah, so special guest and my birthday.
Fantastic. Well, we'll see you then. In the meantime, follow us on all our social medias, Questing HR Podcast, and follow along. Let us know how your adventures are going with a hashtag MyQuestingHour. And we'll see you on Thursday.
We'll see you Thursday.
Bye.
Farewell, travelers.